Welcome back to Instant Expertise Marketing mini-series, 9 Minutes to Skyrocket Your SaaS, where each mini-series episode is a shot of pure marketing adrenaline. Today, in episode 69, we're about to serve you a steaming cup of insider knowledge. We're going to be diving into 3 elements that can supercharge your brand. Don't miss out. This is the secret sauce your competitors wish they had. I'm Yvette Brown, co-founder of X Promos. I became an entrepreneur at 23 by starting my own promotions agency with my then 29-year-old business partner, Shari Nomady.
And I'm Shari Nomady. As you all know by now, Yvette and I approach business from opposite ends of the spectrum, and yet we always come to the same conclusions on how we help our clients succeed. Now, before we get going today, I want to let our listeners know that this episode is actually part 2 of a 3-part mini-series covering 3 of the 9 critical demand gen marketing fundamentals.
Yep, exactly. And long story short, we're using OpenAI to help solve a problem that so many businesses face, bringing in more customers at a scalable CAC. We've harnessed the power of generative AI to combine the best practices of the world's top brands, expert advice from all-time marketing OGs, and inspirational case studies from the most successful campaigns. Then we've relied on our own expertise to vet the approaches and curate that content.
Plus, we've built content drops specifically designed to speak to the needs of B2B SaaS founders who are brilliant engineers, but sometimes lack that deep understanding of marketing core competencies. The content that we're creating fills the gap in small, 9-minute, fluff-free, wonderful segments.
Exactly. And, having gone through the building of those core competencies in this subscription newsletter product we call the 9 and 9 Marketing Scrum to help B2B SaaS founders scale past 100, we decided to share those key demand gen fundamentals in this podcast mini-series since they are foundationally critical for practically all businesses.
Our first topic today is identifying and leveraging market trends. Trends are one of my favorites because if you can spot a trend that aligns with your audience, you can ride that wave to some great success.
Exactly. And since this original episode is dropping in the fall, of course, we're going to talk about the genius behind Starbucks's pumpkin spice latte. That's the one that comes to mind. Now it's known by its own acronym PSL. And, with that, Starbucks created a groundswell of support for pumpkin flavored everything, which, may or may not have jumped a shark at this point in life. But the lesson is important nevertheless. You have to recognize what your audience is craving before they do, and know that even short-term trends can lead to long-term loyalty.
Absolutely. And case in point, that pumpkin spice latte, which originally launched in 2003, we all know it's still going stronger than ever. Whether having a Zoom background, investing in ABM marketing, or answering supplier sustainability and corporate social responsibility questions, remember that trends impact B2B as much as they do the consumer brands.
That's exactly true. And that's really important to understand is that trends are not just for consumers at all or consumer brands. So now let's go ahead and move to the second demand gen fundamental of the day, creating value for prospects and customers. Core competencies in this area include understanding the buyer journey, ABM principles, and value-driven content creation.
A great example of value-driven content creation is Salesforce annual Dreamforce conference. It's a highly anticipated event each year, and it's a perfect example of high-quality content being more than information. It's an experience, and it aligns with the belief that the content should provide tangible ROIs to the client.
Exactly. And value creation covers many critical areas. The main takeaway is that you will generate the greatest success when your content is high value and it addresses your prospects' needs at their particular step of the customer journey. And as a reminder, one of my favorite adages is that the customer journey is more like a playground than a pathway. We all wish it was like a straight pathway. It's not. You cannot predict the behavior of your prospects on the journey, so the best thing you can do is stop trying. Instead, you need to think of your content strategy like a playground where you offer different pieces of equipment to engage your prospects when they're ready to consume it.
Absolutely. And always, always think like your ideal customer. What do they want and need in order to believe before engaging with your B2B SaaS company?
Yep. And remember also, value creation applies to existing customers as well. Understanding topics like value ladders, where best customers can invest more and more in your brand, and retention strategies will positively impact your SaaS beyond just demand gen.
I think it was Neil Patel that discussed the importance of lifetime customer value and how it is so much cheaper to retain your current customers than to acquire new ones.
That is exactly right, although I do think that the concept predates even Neil. Nevertheless, our third fundamental of the day sits adjacent to the second one, but we believe that it's so critical that it deserves its own category, and that's how it made our list of the 9 key fundamentals. It's engaging prospects and customers. You see, if you want to stand out, it is not good enough to just check the boxes and create, for instance, a piece of gated content delivered in a PDF form. I mean, you can, and a lot of companies do, but our feeling is that if you go through all that work to develop that piece, why would you not go the extra mile to stand out with something that is engaging and interactive?
I know that's a really hot button for you.
It is indeed. It is.
Oh, I know. So you're going to love these examples. And first up is Duolingo, which relies on a streak feature to keep its customers engaged. The key to their interactive content strategy is that gamification isn't just fun, but it also enhances user engagement and retention. And it's strategically sound because it gives users a sense of accomplishment, enhancing brand loyalty. And often the response rate increases, which typically, ultimately, lowers the CAC, depending on exactly where they are in the customer journey.
Yep. And there, as you know, Shari, there are many, many, many ways to integrate engagement into your offers, from gamification, quizzes, assessments, personalization in ABM campaigns, or even doing Ask Me Anything private webinars for your best prospects. Another example is user-generated content, which is how GoPro turned customers into brand advocates. They empowered customers to tell their stories, which in turn promotes the brand. For GoPro, this was an effective way to build social proof and credibility.
And with that, we have covered another 3 of the 9 demand gen fundamentals that every B2B SaaS founder needs to know in order to scale past 100. So let's recap. Number 1 is trend spotting. Number 2 is creating value for your prospects and your customers. And number 3 is engaging with them.
Yep, and understanding and executing demand gen marketing playbooks that integrate these fundamentals will, by its nature, help lower your CAC because it's going to increase engagement with your ICP.
And with that, we're going to call this a wrap on this second special mini-series episode, Cracking the Code. So come back for part 3, where we're going to be covering unlocking infinite growth And if you missed part one on getting laser focused on who you are, who you serve, and who your competition is, then do yourself and your business a favor and go back and listen to that one right before this.
That's a great idea. And if you want to join the 9 and 9 Marketing Scrum to get 9-minute content drops twice a week about demand gen fundamentals to help scale your B2B SaaS past 100, visit marketingscrum.beehive.com for more details.
And if you're in a hurry, you just might still be able to join as a founding member where we're offering the monthly subscription at a very deep discount.
Check it out today, and thank you for listening in.